Hey guys, my name is Matthew Magno, and I will be showing you how to code the game Battleship in C++. For the sake of time, I'll just be reviewing some code that I've previously done, so I don't have to type it out and it won't be so long. Alright, so let's get started. First of all, I want to talk about some header files that we need to include into this game. The first one would be our C Standard General Utilities library, and this is basically just a header file that defines several general purpose functions. The one we'll be using is the number generator function. I want to include a iOS stream header file so we can include some input and output there. And then we'll also include the ctime header file. And this header file, it just contains like definitions of functions to just to get and manipulate date and time. And we will be coding in the standard namespace, so our code would be a little bit easier. All right, to get started, I want to implement the maximum number of rows and columns. So we're just defining some integers here, setting equal to 5, and calling them rows and columns. And these are constants because we don't want these to be changed. It's going to be our game board. Here we are going to show you that we're setting some arrays here of our print board, our generate ship, and our check board. And we're using void because these values don't need to be returned. Just make sure that they're outside the main function. Here we are starting the main function. As you can see, we have an srand function here. And basically this just initializes the random number generator from that C standard library header file. We have an array right after that. It's just an array for the game board, and then here I'm setting up integer values for the size and number of ships that are going to be used within the game. I have a for loop here within a for loop actually to initialize the game board, and this code here is just saying that our 5x5 game board is going to be made up of dots or periods. Next here I'll be starting the code to get the number of ships to play against, and I'll be introducing that it's Battleship and it's a one-player game. I'll be implementing a do while loop here to get the number of ships, and so we're using a do loop so that the test conditions will occur like towards the end of the loop or at the end of the loop. I have another for loop here, and this for loop is just to get each ship size and to generate the ships. As you can see here, we have some user input to get the size of the enemy ships. I said from 1 to 3 since it's a 5x5 game board. It's quite small, so that seemed sufficient there. And then here's a cin function, so we could get the user input for the size of the ship that they want. And then I have a code here just to generate the ships on the game board. Basically, the rest of the main function here is just gameplay. I have setting up an integer, setting up the number of bombs being used, which will be the guesses, to 25 because we have a 5x5 game board. So essentially we can hit every spot on the game board. I have a boolean here, which is it's an implicit assignment, so it's going to be false. And then I have an if statement here, and basically this if and else statement is to give directions and introducing the generated game board. So yeah, we have another for loop here, and this for loop it has an if-else statement for each churn of the game, and this will just check if the player still has bombs left or if the player has already won. As you can see here, if the if statement starts right here, if you did hit a ship, it will print out you made a hit. Else, if you did not get one of those right, it will print out you missed. And here, coding on down, this is just like the end game results. I have a cout statement that's going to print out the final board with all used bombs and all the hit or sunken battleships within the game. I have an if statement here, if else statement, and this is just to see if the user has won or not. So if the winner, if victory, it's going to print out congratulations, you sunk all of the enemy battleships. Else, if you did not get a victory, you did not sink every battleship, please try again. Down here, I want to show you, this is where we're going to start to randomize where the ships are. I'm going to implement a do loop here, and basically this while loop right here, this is for the horizontal orientation of where the ships are going to be laid. It's going to be random. I have an if statement right here to make sure the ships won't go off the board because it's only a 5x5. You could change that early on in the code, but we'll go back here. And then right here, I have another for loop just to make sure the ships won't stack on top of each other, because that will be bad. And then right here, if the statement does check out, then it will go ahead and generate the ships. Um, and then in this case right here, this is if statement. This is to place the ships randomly vertically within the game board. We're going to go ahead and return it, and yeah, that's my code here.
I hope you guys liked it, and I hope everyone has a great winter break. Peace.